Hello YouTube, Professor Kadra here. Welcome to Tobacco 302 Virginia Blends. Virginia is one of the most important tobaccos in the pipe smoking world. Many blends contain Virginia. Many pipe smokers consider it their favorite.
I do.
I'm among them. Some blends are built almost entirely around Virginia tobacco. Today we're going to explore what makes Virginia tobacco unique with the representative blend of Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Twist Flake. So, what is Virginia tobacco? It's a type of tobacco, not a location. Doesn't necessarily have to be grown in Virginia, where it originates. It's typically flue cured, naturally sweet, high in sugar. It's very versatile, and many smokers consider it the foundation of pipe tobacco. Let's give it a smell while we're at it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, caramelly goodness.
Yeah, but it's got this fresh,
Yeah.
it's caramel. There's a sweetness for sure, which, yeah. Oh, I want to keep smelling it.
Yeah. So Virginia is often described as sweet, grassy, hay-like, bready, citrusy, fruity. Different Virginias can emphasize different qualities. It's not one flavor. There's bright Virginia, lemon Virginia, orange Virginia, red Virginia.
And that refers to the color of the leaf.
I think that's where they get their name. Yeah,
That's kind of how I pictured it. I don't know if that's accurate.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they look those colors.
Yeah.
Red, maybe just maybe a little bit more red than some of the other
Orange,
Virginias.
yeah.
They're not exactly red in color, but
Yeah, but yeah.
Each offers a different smoking experience. I mentioned earlier that many pipe smokers consider Virginia their favorite. And one of the reasons for that is that it rewards attention. We talked in one of our ethics courses about how sometimes you don't always have the full session to dedicate, to just focusing on the tobacco. But when you do, a Virginia is really going to shine. Smokers also enjoy Virginia's natural sweetness, flavor complexity,
For me,
aging potential.
when I first tried tobacco, I tried aromatics. The appeal was, wow, this is peaches and cream. This is, whatever, caramel, whatever it might be. And I was initially like, it tasted good, but a little disappointed that it didn't taste as much. We've talked about it before, like
Yeah.
what you hope it would taste like, and oftentimes what it smells like in the room. But eventually, Virginia started to appeal to me to try it, and I just wanted to see what some good tobaccos that were, what the tobacco flavor, what the tobacco itself had to offer. And I found that the Virginia, I mean, it really just delivers on that. It's just such an, it tastes. There's nothing that, oh, this is supposed to taste like this, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like, it's just good. Well, there's so much to offer flavor wise.
Yeah, Virginia blends often reveal subtle flavors developed throughout the bowl. But it can also be demanding. Common challenges included burning hot,
Mm-hmm.
the associated tongue bite. A lot of Virginia is in flake form, so the moisture level can be a little bit difficult. Thank you.
Yep.
The flavor can seem subtle to new smokers, that may not necessarily not be able to, but they may not appreciate it in the same way that the experienced pipe smoker might.
No, I agree. And that's why I think the course of action I took, we're trying an aromatic first and then be like, this is good, but not as much. And then, that's what kind of led me towards wanting to see what the tobacco itself, because I don't think that's what's initially appealing to, especially if you're not a tobacco smoker in general, and then you want to take up the hobby of pipe smoking. It smells, the room note is probably the least, good smelling room note to the person on the outside. It smells more like a cigarette or more like
Mm-hmm.
tobacco. But the taste, there's so much going on there.
I get bready notes, grassy notes. There's a sweetness.
And I think, you know, while different Virginias can have more of certain notes than others, it often changes a lot throughout the bowl. You know, with Virginias.
Very much. Yeah, they often reward a slower smoking pace as well, with a nice cadence. You can really see the
I definitely like
benefits
to
from that.
sip them
Yeah,
even more so than others, you know.
yeah, definitely. So today's representative blend is Luxury Twist Flake. Chose this blend because it's Virginia forward. It's got a coin kind of presentation. It's naturally sweet. It's easy to discuss and demonstrate. Showcases a lot of the qualities of Virginia that makes it popular.
Definitely, yeah, the grassy and the bready I'm tasting myself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I'll notice that, at least for me, I'll notice the grassy first, and then as the bowl goes on, I'll get more of the bready. But
Mm-hmm.
that's me. I don't know about everybody else.
I generally find a similar progression. Virginia is famous for its aging potential. Over time, the sugars continue to develop, harsh edges soften, flavors deepen.
Is this tobacco aged at all?
Yeah, this tobacco is about 8 years old. Many smokers sell our Virginia blend specifically because it ages so well. That's why I do it.
As someone who has made the mistake and is reforming my ways of letting my tobacco dry out too much by not cellaring it properly, I'm amazed at how not dry this is. You know, an 8 year old
After 8 years,
tobacco
right?
after 8 years, and you open the jar, and it probably doesn't feel exactly like, but it's 95% like,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. So who should try Virginia? Excellent for people who enjoy a natural tobacco flavor.
Yep.
You know, no aromatic toppings, just that straight tobacco Virginia flavor.
Virginia is what opened my eyes to how many like flavor notes and how good just like pure tobacco can be. Like when I first tried a pure burley smoke, I found it to be more reminiscent of like, I mean, they can be very good, but more similar to what I'd expect if you've ever tried a cigarette or tobacco like that. But this is totally different. Not to say that it's not in some cigarette blends as well, but still to appreciate it by sipping it through a pipe. There's a lot of flavor that I wouldn't have thought about when I think of, you know, what does a cigarette smell like in terms of just tobacco, you know?
Right. Yeah, definitely. Talked about subtle complexity in Virginias. That's another. Smokers who enjoy subtle complexity would be interested in a Virginia blend. People who like exploring how tobacco changes with age. You can grab some Virginia, smoke some of it, throw it in a jar, come back to it in a couple years. You'll see how it's changed.
Which makes me think about like you have that pipe log that you
Mm-hmm.
created, and I know even anyone can make their own pipe log as well. You just kind of, but to you know, 8 years later, you might not you might not remember what it tasted like. But that's why sometimes keeping a little log could be a nice hobby.
Yeah, have something to reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have that with my series, the Cellar series that I've been doing, where I reviewed them unaged and working on reviewing them aged. Just have to wait for them to come of age. There's one review pending, and then next year would be the next one for that.
What's also amazing to me is like while there are like different types of Virginia leaf, like how different a lot of these blends can be from one another,
Mm-hmm.
considering it's just straight tobacco. Like there's a lot of tobaccos that are just straight Virginia, not even Perique or
Right.
Burley, and still they can be so different from each other. You can strongly prefer a certain blend, and it's just
Yeah.
one type of leaf at the end of the day.
Yep. As far as who Virginias are less suitable for, would be people seeking bold flavors, heavy smokiness that doesn't really offer much there. But when you're not looking for that, it sure
Yeah.
does deliver.
Well, I guess that can mean different things. Like I do find the smoke created by a Virginia to be a little less like dense clouds. Depends on the bowl too and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
but the flavor I still would say is bold in a way. I love the citrus flavor that I think that's one of my favorite things about it, like that kind of grassy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tastes fresh and like not stuffy, if that makes sense, you know.
Fresh. It does taste
Mm-hmm.
fresh. What do you think? You think this is a good representative Virginia?
I think so for sure.
I think so. It really showcases the natural sweetness.
It does. I'm getting a lot of the grassy. It's
That's where
not
I'm. Yeah,
too much of any
I'm
one
yeah.
thing. I'm not getting a ton of bready, like some of them, but I think as the bowl goes on, that might present more.
Yeah, I'm primarily in the grassy realm. A little bit of a caramel kind of sweetness.
What are some other good representative Virginias people might consider trying?
Probably Capstan Blue. It's probably a good one.
That was Tolkien's blend, right?
Yeah, allegedly. That seems to be the consensus on what he smoked. It's probably largely the same today as it was then.
Yeah, that's not always the case. A lot of these
No,
blends
yeah, a lot
change.
of them change over time. Yeah. Orlick Golden Sliced is another one that people probably really would enjoy. They like Virginia, representative of it. Excellent aging potential. And I haven't opened a tin yet to speak for it, but the Davidoff medallions would probably be another good example.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a vapor though.
We could talk about those a little bit. So, what are some of the common blends that include Virginia that aren't straight Virginia?
I mean, like common types, you mean,
Like
or blends themselves? Like yeah,
vapor,
like
yeah.
vapor, Virginia Burleys, or another common one as a base for an English even.
Okay.
You know, yeah, they'll often be the foundational tobacco in an English blend.
Once Latakia gets involved, it just, I mean, they're all different.
It changes the
but
game.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely get less of the Virginia flavors able to creep their way through when you pair it up with some of those stronger flavors. Um, does not seem to happen with Perique. It seems to go very well with Perique. The Perique
Yeah.
doesn't seem to overwhelm
No,
it.
it doesn't. It just changes it in a good way, in an interesting way, you know? I don't know if
Yeah,
I've ever
the
tried a
Vapor
Virginia
Seminar will
Burley.
probably be a really fun one.
Yeah, vapors I've tried and I've liked. The Virginia Burley, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure I've had blends that have had both in it,
Uh-huh.
but I've never. I don't think I've ever tried a straight Virginia Burley.
I'll hook you up.
You know, one thing that kind of amazes me too is like if you've ever smoked a cigar, which is just pure tobacco leaves as
Yeah.
well. You know, so you got your aromatics that are cased in different things, meant to, you know. But the appeal with the Virginia to me was like I want to know what the tobacco itself tastes like when it's presenting really well, and it's so different, which kind of opens your your thought process to be like these tobaccos can all taste so different, you know,
Mm-hmm.
have such different. There's so much
Yeah,
different
there's
flavor
so many
profile.
blends, so many different flavor profiles from, like you were saying before, from just Virginia leaf, right?
Yep.
And you asked about those examples, and it's interesting how, like people will have their favorites among, those listed examples, Capstan, Orlick, even though they're just Virginia in a flake form.
One thing that that I wonder about is All right, so if you have a Virginia, that's a straight Virginia, and I guess there's different types of Virginias like we talked about. If you are these companies, like if you have a particular blend, are they sourcing it always from the same farm or the same place, or is it their processing standards that give it its
I wonder that
uniform?
myself quite often. Yeah,
Yeah,
like how they hit that, because it's difficult with an organic product.
it is.
Yeah. So I imagine they would go for the same,
I'm sure the
same
processing
varietal of Virginia,
allows
same farm,
is a big
and
factor in
everything.
it, like
I would
how
think
they
so.
choose to do it.
I would think so.
Like I know with wines, there's some wines that are great, but then it depends on the vintage, right? You know what I mean? Like an organic product, one year could be different than the next, but
Yeah,
they're
fortunately, I think tobacco is like less susceptible. Like it'll
mhm.
affect the harvest, but it won't really affect the quality in quite the way
Yeah,
that it
yeah.
really does seem to affect grapes.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if these companies, like I've got a different one over there at Peterson Royal Yacht. I'm wondering, like, are they getting all their, or this luxury twist flake, are they getting all their Virginia from the same source every time? I'd imagine that's not
It's probably
realistically
not
possible.
practical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then you've got like think about like Scotch. You've got blended Scotches and stuff like that, but they still manage to make it consistent.
right,
You know,
right. Yeah, they're coming at you with all different combinations of whatever the components are, but they're still delivering that flavor profile that
I
the
wonder
brand
if
is known
actually you
for,
get
right?
more uniformity or more consistency, I should say, from that. Like, because then each variable matters less. Like, if you have a blend of several different things, if you say, we're getting our tobacco source from these, 10 different farms, and one farm's a little different, it's only 1/10 of the equation, you know?
Yeah. You let less to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to be talking more about stuff later in the bowl, but the thing about Virginia, don't want to rush it.
No, definitely not. It's smoking well, though.
It is.
Starting to maybe get a little more of the bready, but not quite what I might describe as bready yet, but it's starting to go into that direction
Mm-hmm.
a little bit for me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this makes any sense, but to me, the grassy notes are starting to get wider.
Okay.
Like rather than individual notes, they're kind of blending in together a little bit
Yes,
more, and it's starting to shift into a more singular kind of a flavor.
I do know what you mean. Yeah, it's melding together more. Yeah, I do find that to be pretty typical with
Mm-hmm.
Virginias, but it's happening here as well.
So Virginia, it's one of the foundational tobaccos of the pipe smoking hobby. It offers natural sweetness, complexity, excellent aging potential, and understanding Virginia helps build a foundation for understanding many other blend styles. Till next time, thanks for watching.